Let us get to the main event now, which goes down in the welterweight division, where we got Jack Della Maddalena coming in at plus 100, going up against Carlos Prates, who comes in at minus 120. Now, starting off on the Maddalena side of things, he is coming off losing his welterweight title at the hands of Islam Makhachev. Now, he won the title back in May of last year, where he was able to outwork Bilal Muhammad, winning enough of those rounds. I believe he at least won 3-2 that night. Stuff in the takedowns. I thought Bilal got to his takedowns a little bit too late, fought to be a little bit more entertaining than he should, and Maddalena took full advantage of that, clearly being the better striker. Now, Maddalena obviously made improvements in his defensive grappling game, as that's the style that most opponents would look to take against him. Basil Hafez was very close to beating Maddalena, kind of just ran out of gas there. Gilbert Burns, similar, won the first 2 rounds against Maddalena with his grappling, eventually got TKO'd after he slowed down as Maddalena turned it on in the 3rd round. But then we saw Maddalena really showcase better defensive grappling against Muhammad. Unfortunately, there's no way he was going to do that against Islam Makhachev, who easily took him down, easily just wrecked him on the ground, stayed a step ahead, and Maddalena had no answer off of his back. We know what Maddalena's good at. He's one of the best, one of the most entertaining strikers in the welterweight division, and that's what got him the title shot and eventually the gold wrapped around his waist. He throws good combinations, mixes it up to the body very well, has some stinging power that he can inflict on his opponents, but it's really the grappling game where he really needs to shore things up if he hopes to be successful in the welterweight division. Before he challenges for a title again, if he can get a run going, he's eventually going to have to face another guy that's going to be looking to take advantage of him and his defensive grappling shortcomings. So he needs to really work on that. And he's still 29, right? He still has the time to make those improvements to try to get back into title contention and try to beat guys that are going to be looking to out-grapple him. But he's still one of the best fighters in the division, bar none. A very good striker, has a ton of potential still, untapped potential, I think. It's great that he's won gold, but he's still 29, right? He still has 5 years, 6 years to be fighting at a high level. We'll see if he can really hang around that top 5, top 7 of the division. But he has a very tough test here this weekend as he takes on the Muay Thai specialist Carlos Prates, who's looking to build upon 2 back-to-back knockout victories that he's had over Jeff Neal and last time around against Leon Edwards. Now, the first loss that he suffered in the UFC actually came against Ian Machado Gary, which was a short notice main event slot where he took on Gary over 5 rounds. Now, Gary had a perfect game plan and executed it to perfection, especially through the first 3 rounds, as he was able to land takedowns, get good control time, but also utilize a good striking game to really counter the style of Prates. But we saw the gas tank really start to fill Gary, and Prates was unable to close the show in the last 2 rounds, even though it looked like Gary was running on E for those last 10 minutes. But it seems like that really ignited a fire under Prates as he's come out looking much nastier against Jeff Neal, where he was able to get that nasty spinning back elbow, I believe it was, that put Neal away. And then in the Leon Edwards fight, he did lose the first round. Edwards, often a guy that is overlooked in his grappling game. People just know him for the head kick over Kamaru Usman, his striking game, but he is a pretty good grappler as well. And he was showing it against Prates, but Prates did a better job of working back to his feet. He was being held against the cage a little bit longer than I would have liked to see, but the fact that he is cognizant of just not sitting on, laying on his back, constantly working back to his feet, working on the wrist locks, working on wrist control, trying to get back out into the open space. Because when he does, he was able to produce that nasty knockout win that he had over Edwards in the 2nd round, right? That cross down the pipe, absolutely flatlining Edwards. Beautiful, beautiful performance there from Prates. So we know what to expect from him, right? Nasty Muay Thai, good combinations, good kicks, good elbows, good knees, likes to get a little bit unorthodox at times as well. But just like his opponent this week in Maddalena, he needs to continue to shore up the defensive grappling game if he wants to find himself in a title fight. Now, these guys, I don't think you could make a better scrap at welterweight that's not for the title. Actually, even for the title, I don't think you could put together a matchup that has the potential to deliver on fight of the year type entertainment than this one right here. both these guys are strikers in different ways, right? Maddalena likes to mix up the combinations a little bit more, loves to work the body, loves to mix it up in the pocket. Prates, a little bit more reliant on his kicks, his Muay Thai, his knees, sniping shots from distance. It's a very fun puzzle to try to solve here. You got Prates with I believe it's a 2-inch reach height advantage, but he also holds a 5-inch reach advantage, which I think is going to help him try to stay safe outside of the pocket, which is where Maddalena often thrives, especially with the body work that he likes to implement. I'd kind of be surprised if either side tries to implement the grappling here. I think they're both going to be looking to implement their striking. If one side does, it might be Maddalena, right? All that work that he did with Craig Jones in preparation for both his Muhammad and Makhachev fights, he might be looking to take advantage of that here with Prates. So I might give Maddalena a slight edge in the grappling game, but not a whole lot, to the point that I think he can do what Ian Machado Gary did to Carlos Prates. So I expect the majority of this fight to take place in the striking game, and I have to side to the Prates side. I think his Muay Thai is going to be a little bit more dangerous here, and I think he's more prone to be able to get a finish compared to what Maddalena can do here. I think Maddalena is going to have to really work the body, get this into deep water, and try to get Prates out just through exhaustion. But I think Prates will continue to meet him with big shots, cut Maddalena up. We know Maddalena is susceptible to get a cut up and not look good optically for the judges. And I think that's going to favor Prates here. I think that leads to Prates eventually getting this win by knockout. So when I studied this matchup, it was a pick'em price, but money is slowly coming in on the Prates side, which he finds himself at minus 120 now. And I think by fight time, he might even get up to about minus 140, minus 150. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not the greatest at predicting line movement or anything like that. But I think as people start to study up on this fight, they're going to start leaning more to the Prates side. We might get some sharp money coming in on Maddalena to try to get some underdog money on a former champion. But I think Prates' striking style will be a lot more effective than what Maddalena brings in return. So I'm going to go Prates and Prates by knockout. But it should be an entertaining fight from the first bell to the last. But I still expect to be Prates to get his hand raised by knockout.